Welcome to another week of Final Fantasy XIII Let's Play. I'm Dice, and I'm joined again by...
Izala, as always.
And we're catching back up with a stabby boy.
Stabby boy, yes.
We left last week with Hope with a knife out walking to Snow's back. I don't know how that'll resolve.
Who gave him a knife anyway?
Snow knows whose knife that is, too. He recognized it immediately.
Yeah, wasn't it his present?
Yup.
There's some nice text at the bottom there. This Hope runs through the streets sheathed in Shiva's ice. He can feel the shape of the knife lightning left in his care. Preemptive strike.
It's me. What's up?
You damn well know what's up!
Why haven't you called in?
Sorry, slipped my mind.
Ugh, right. What's your status?
Great. Hope's great
I
too.
don't think Fangs
Are
used
you
a
all right?
phone.
I'm great, you're great, everybody's great.
I don't know if that's a
Reunion
phone.
Figure out a rendezvous point. Don't sweat it. That line's hyper-encrypted.
Good.
Uh,
Hyper encryption.
Hey sis, is that you?
I'm not your sister.
Not yet.
This city's under our jurisdiction. We're the ones defending it. We should have a say in what's done to protect it.
Attention all units. Ignore all fire zone restrictions. Fire at will.
Is that guy's
Watch
earpiece
whatever it
bigger
takes to
than
kill
their
them at sea.
phones?
Over.
Whatever it
Maybe?
takes. You want to start a war in the streets? Civilians are still evacuating. The collateral we're talking about is unacceptable. You don't know what it's like out there.
You don't understand why we're here. Who do you think it is? Terrified of Pulse and begging us to kill them at sea. It's not the Sanctum. It's not us. It's the people.
It's literally just like a Bluetooth in-ear.
Yeah, pretty normal versus their two
We'll meet at
popsicle
Hope's
sticks as a
Yeah.
phone.
Felix Heights, 35A.
Right. See you there.
It's the eventual conclusion of the Motorola Razr.
Yeah.
Take care of Hope.
All over it.
Now I'm wondering
I'll
if
tell you more about Sarah when we meet up.
Sony Japan tried making
I found out she
an actual
can't turn
phone.
back. They're still
Yeah, I almost wanted to look it up.
Snow, listen to me. It's about Hope. His mother was...
I got your knife.
Hope? Hope!
That must have
Answer
been
me!
the encryption.
Yeah.
Hope!
Yelling doesn't fix it. It's called interference. You can chit-chat when we get there. I've got point. You fall in
It's not
behind.
error correcting
And
hyper
see if you
encryption.
can't cool off that head of yours.
Alright, where does she keep it? Oh. We don't get to know. You could, like, almost use it as a hairpin.
Or put it in your ear, like an earpiece.
Maybe.
I guess it'd be harder to share that between
Yeah.
operatives.
It wouldn't be as sanitary if you needed to have hand it to somebody else.
But we get Fang. We don't get that much Crystarium with her, which is a little weird, but I guess she also has some initial points spent. It kind of balances out. There's a brief description there. She has Saboteur, Commando, and Sentinel.
Bring it on.
So right now we have two Commandos, which we really haven't had. I can't remember the last time we had Saz and
Change
Light.
of plan.
It's been a while.
Eat this.
I think we only have Saz with Commando very brief moment. Oh, I guess that may have been after.
I don't think he had Commando when he was
No,
with
yeah, he
Lightning,
didn't.
actually.
Thanks for coming.
It's also nice that she does damage.
Yeah, it is. And the fact that because they both have Commando, and unlike, Snow has Commando also,
Yeah,
Fang
technically.
has an area attack Commando ability.
Yes.
And Fang is very useful against these guys too. Find it. So she basically only has slow from a Saboteur standpoint right now. I didn't have enough Crystarium to give her anything else. But against these guys, because of how much they move around, slow not only lowers your like ATB gain and movement, or it also lowers your movement. So with Lightning and Fang being primarily melee-focused characters, even when they go Ravager or, for Lightning's case, they still do a lot of strike-based and very close-range magic use. The slow means that I can actually hit this guy.
It's weird how many mechanics there are based on their three-dimensional positioning when you have virtually no direct control over it.
Yeah, I mean, I could be using the ranged abilities for my main character, but I can't actually control the other characters at all, so I can't even tell them that, like, hey, focus on your range attacks and they actually land all the time.
Bring it on.
And, like, Fire has an actual projectile that they send out, those orbs for the magic a lot of times, which can possibly be dodged. I know when you kill an enemy and they've already launched an orb, it will go past where the enemy walks.
I'm not sure if it can be dodged or not, if they're still alive. So even though it's not technically a class in the game, I guess Fang is kind of our, like, traditional Dragoon character.
That has that aesthetic, kind of, yeah.
Yeah. It kind of plays that role in the story a little bit, too, where she just is like...
Yeah, I always
Pops out of
associated
nowhere.
her with kind of like the Orin role from 10, too.
Yeah. I think that comparison was made before this game was even out, actually.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Where do I start? I've got a few screws loose, but I'm a Lassie, same as you. Difference being, I wasn't born on Cocoon. I'm from Grand Pulse, the world below you all hate so much. My partner and I turned to crystal there and gone to sleep. But when we came around, here we were. The reason Cocoon's in such an uproar is the same reason you're here now. Vanille and I woke up.
And we finally have the official thing why Vanille is so weird about
Yep.
Pulse stuff.
Doesn't explain why she's weird in general, though.
No.
Because Fang seems normal. Ish.
Yeah, sure.
The Sanctum follows Foul Sea orders. It's not just after Lassie. They'll target civilians and purge everyone who's a threat.
More innocents get killed.
You can't take the blame for that.
I don't think he was.
Yeah, but, you know, thanks,
We
no.
can still save them. We let loose and bring the army to us.
Draw their fire.
I'm supposed to protect you. I can't let this happen. It's a tough call, that's for sure.
So you can't let it happen, but it's a
I was just gonna sit
call.
there. Yeah.
I try to save everyone.
I think he's just gonna let it resolve itself by just sitting there the entire time too.
So, Hope, are you with me on this? You just need to look out for yourself. Here goes nothing.
Citizens,
This section has a lot of look behind you for the orb. Not really sure why.
I like how there's people off of the map there, just behind that cage.
Oh, we'll
And
talk to them.
They're just chilling.
Yeah, so we hadn't really upgraded anything. The previous combats with Hope and Snow took a while, so we're just gonna try and buff Snow's combat weapon a little bit. We actually sell some of our credit items that we've been getting and buy some replacement parts for some experience. I don't think we make super big progress on the weapon, but a little bit helps.
Nothing to worry about.
Yeah, so without the upgrade that Snow got, I think Fang was hitting for basically the same damage that Snow was hitting for. All the damage output feels pretty consistent based on the number of party members you have.
Time to switch, kiddo.
It's fine. But we're definitely not to any point where we can really optimize people.
Or break the battle system. Which can definitely be done.
It's all about teamwork. How about this? Just too easy.
Are you some kind of animal? You just punch people and get mad?
But they were just being led into these, like, impromptu cages, right? And then they decided to stand around, or is there like an actual alleyway back there that they just came here to congregate?
I have no idea what the implication is. Like, is it just that they have some of the streets barricaded off because they're securing them? But then, like, why are these people hanging out if it's so dangerous that they had to do that? I don't know. It's very weird.
Like, they're definitely escorting the populace
Right.
into these areas, or are they just escorting them out of the main area? I mean, based on Roche's speech about, open fire, do they even care? Like, it sounds like the Guardian Corps cares about the populace, whereas SciComm...
Which makes sense, because the Guardian Corps would be people from this area.
Yeah. But that little girl doesn't like the soldiers being here, so...
Yeah. I like how those kids are just up there hiding on their own.
Yeah.
There's like this military operation going. These people also don't seem particularly concerned that you just...
Or they
killed
were
all-
being escorted, and then you killed the people escorting them, and just like... I guess we're fine now?
But they just stand there.
All these people want to kill us, don't they?
And the soldiers aren't particularly good about escorting people out of the main thoroughfare either.
I repeat, citizens, a state of emergency has been declared. Sanctum military operations will be commencing within this area momentarily. For your own...
I own what? Yeah, we could have extra defense if our HP gets low.
Safety.
Lightning,
A
or
mandatory
Snow
physical
has so much
evacuation has been
HP
ordered.
compared to Hope,
Please remain calm
and Hope is wearing a really strong bangle. Like, I don't think Snow is going to get that low.
Thank you in advance
Probably not.
I would have messed up a lot to let him get that low.
And you can always summon Shiva.
Yeah. There is definitely a set of encounters later that can cause problems, I guess. But it's one of those things where you have to know about them ahead of time to be able to adjust like your equipment going into them, because most of the combat ends up being this. And I think it's one of the combat pacing problems with this section of the game, is you'll occasionally hit a strong enemy, but you don't necessarily know you're hitting a strong enemy before you do it the first time.
Right.
Not good.
Is there a problem? Now why don't you just calm down?
Oh, I guess that's the problem.
Yeah, his face is the problem.
What's going on?
I've got you.
Am I the bad guy?
I am a Pulse Lassie! I'm here to kill you all!
What are you doing?
Clearing the area.
They'll open fire on a crowd.
Doesn't matter who dies.
Just wipe them all out.
There's so many of them. Are they really that?
But would they have known that you were in that crowd?
Maybe?
Like, we're pretty obvious, I guess, but none of the other soldiers seemed particularly interested in chasing us when we showed up until we got within their aggro range.
Right. And they didn't really seem to know. They didn't say anything about Lassie when you fought
And
them.
if you watch the full like combat engaged animation, it's Snow running up to them and just trying to punch them.
Right.
So
It's me you want! Anytime!
yeah, these snipers are a bit of a chore because they will focus down hope. So the best hope anyone has is the focus down hope and maybe spend the Phoenix down.
I don't think those jetpacks look very comfortable.
I hope that there's like a harness or attach point like in the middle of the back instead of it being like on your shoulders, I guess. The underside of your shoulders is supporting your weight.
Could be. It's also funny that it's like literally those air bikes. It's the
Yeah.
same like tech, just in a different form. So they look a little ridiculous.
How about this? Time to switch, kiddo.
Yeah, this rocket barrage. It's the photon beam from the enemy previous episode where it basically is guaranteed to knock you out, and I don't have vigilance available from Hope's synergist, so just constantly interrupted while trying to build stagger.
They look more of them.
You can dodge one, apparently. Probably dodge more, but I need that Crystarium. I need to make sure that I'm XP capped before we move on.
I'm just liking the fact that dodging them is literally just walking under them slightly.
They can't shoot down.
It's their weakness. They can't go directly down.
Apparently someone crash landed, so...
Hey. You okay?
That's good aim.
Save the girl!
Holy Army!
Don't you touch her!
Protect Cocoon!
You're okay now.
I don't know what that's supposed to be. I would expect...
I think it's a
like
carbuncle.
Great.
The toy, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It has like the little jewel thing on its
Okay.
head.
Because just the carbuncle was the fal'Cie that we saw in here, so I guess that kind of makes sense. It's associated. It just doesn't look anything like the fal'Cie version.
I'm not afraid of you.
I feel like he made a loading hallway.
Help us.
Magic! We don't stand a chance. We can't fight that.
I'm sorry.
Time to go.
Stop them! Empty those clear! Fire!
I don't think he's using that properly.
Well, why was it discarded? Like, did someone crash land there? And he took it off a dead corpse?
Maybe somebody quit.
Yeah. But we've only seen PsyCom in it, so I guess the PsyCom soldier got a conscience?
Well, it was very convenient for the plot if it was there.
Yeah.
We walk from here.
Like, it wasn't the earlier cutscene, so, like, it was established, but why?
Time's a wasting.
An enemy airship. Yep, Max Sentinel. So I think Snow is basically capped. I think he has one roll with a couple of points left.
Felix Heights is that way, right?
Is that a no?
Still pretty far.
Well, I'm gonna keep going that way anyways, so...
A great place for family living. So they say. Looks like it actually might be, huh?
Yeah, well, the Sea don't have family.
Hey, listen to me, kid. I'm an orphan. I barely got to know my family. But someday, I'm gonna have my own. Once I save Sarah and protect Cocoon.
How exactly?
It's a good question. I want to do what's right, but everyone hates l'Cie. Kind of hard to help someone that's trying to kill you. It'll be tough. But everything will work out in the end. As long as we stay together and hold on to hope.
Aggressive
We don't have
optimism.
any.
Mm-hmm. The toxic positivity.
Well, the Sea's only hope is a quick death.
I'm not sure the tactical advantage of that.
They know we have guns!
Hope.
Yeah,
Right.
they can blame the wanton destruction on the l'Cie?
Yeah, they destroyed a billboard. Get him.
They destroy. It's a symbol. They destroyed a billboard depicting family life.
Oh yes, it's clearly a threat to everybody with a family.
More magic.
Oh.
Yeah, this guy.
Hello.
This one goes fine because it's just a single motorcycle. They start throwing a couple of other things at us. I think I talked about this in a previous episode. It has the Gatling gun attack, and if it is allowed to go off, you are kind of hosed. Even with Snow in Sentinel form, the defense rate is not enough to soak the entire cast. If it gets to that point, I'm not really sure what you're supposed to do. My tactic was just focus, stagger it, and make sure that Snow was at full HP, and hopefully stagger it mid-cast?
Will it not use its staggered?
You interrupted, it builds up. So it has a cast time, it'll put the name of the attack up, and then it will do the attack eventually. Mm-hmm. So you have that entire window to
stagger it.
Stagger it, yeah. And I was just thinking, so our Crystarium is blocked off based on story progression. What would be the detriment to letting us put Crystarium beyond? Like, they have point value increases the higher the node goes anyways. There would be a diminishing returns of trying to farm enemies. Like, that's typically like their standard way of preventing this is you have a slightly exponential XP requirement, so you need to fight harder enemies to be able to really make that XP difference up. Right. But they just have a hard cap on what we can access even inside roles that we already had. So like if they let us go to the maximum length of, like, let's say the commando on lightning from the first act, but they locked just the sub roles out, what kind of problem would that be? Because like we were talking about how we couldn't really optimize the battle system at all at this point.
Yeah, I think from like a points perspective it would probably be fine, and they just lock it out because they're afraid of the complexity for some reason. Yeah, because I can't think of another reason.
I can see getting some abilities that might not make sense until later, so you kind of forget that you got them.
I mean, it makes sense to like not have magic until I guess the very beginning of chapter 2 when you fall into like
chapter 3. Chapter 3, but we don't have the Crystarium before that point anyways. So
true.
It just seems like they have intentional barriers where they had already solved those problems in other games and would let you go beyond if you really wanted to. I guess really the big thing is they don't have a grinding spot. Like, there isn't random encounters necessarily. You have to save and load the game if you want to refight encounters. So it's a way of hard forcing you to progress instead of just walking in circles, but why prevent the user from doing that, I guess? Fear of losing motivation for the story.
Yeah, I mean, if they were really worried about grinding, they could also just essentially make it so you have like a pseudo level based on the amount of Crystarium points that you've spent, and simply stop awarding you them after a certain, like, give each of the enemies a relative level too, and just say, like, you won't even get any more from these enemies because you're already too far ahead of them.
Yeah, I guess they did remove levels.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, you have the
effectively
level
entirely.
You have the level for the individual like roles.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no like level in the traditional sense for your character. All of the stats and everything they would gain from a level up happens more like evenly through the Crystarium.
Yeah.
Like the progression would be a very even flow if you assumed that any Crystarium points you acquired were just like immediately applied or whatever.
Yeah.
You would have it would honestly resemble the Chrono Cross leveling system a little bit, where you gain a small amount of stats after each battle, and then kind of the the boss battles raise like your cap effectively for what you can get.
So we actually saw it really briefly there. This combat had 2 of the flying snipers, and it used the Gatling gun on Snow while he had Sentinel up, and it put him below half HP. And that was with him just sitting in Sentinel the entire time, and I think Hope may have spammed heal on him during that too. So it is definitely a
tank buster.
attack. Yeah.
I'm the one you want.
Snow totally checked his Instagram at that terminal.
I was debating this seemed like a boss arena.
A little bit.
I wanted to ask you something.
What's that?
You say you want a family. What if they were taken from you?
Well then, I'd take them back.
And what if you couldn't? What if you knew who was to blame?
Well, then there'd be trouble. Hey, are you okay?
You seem a little disturbed.
Did you get hit in the head or something?
Oh, is this a boss?
It's something.
Guess we'll have to talk about this later.
Don't just stand there.
Hope, wait!
This fight kind of ended up being weird. Originally, I thought that Hope was going to be changed into the party leader.
How about this?
Yeah, they certainly make it look like that when he just kind of pushes Snow out of the way and runs up to the thing.
Yeah. Oh wait, it has a level. I don't think I ever noticed, but
Wait,
in the Libra, it has a level.
Oh, come on!
I don't know if I go back into it, but I think it's at level 57 for this enemy.
Hope, follow my lead.
It's just, do the characters have levels this whole time?
Time to switch,
I didn't know.
I guess, do we know how many nodes there are total in each of the Crystarium
No,
grids?
a lot.
I'm pathetic.
Don't beat yourself up too much, Hope. But yeah, Hope is actually pivotal to this fight, since the enemy does a lot of fire, and Hope has the fire, which increases our fire resistance. That chunks a lot of the damage that we take off, and then on top of that, we can also put Shell, which further reduces our elemental damage taken. So, or maybe it's Protect. Maybe Napalm is a physical attack. It seems a little weird. And then yeah, the enemy goes into an enraged state, reserve state, where it just applies bravery to itself, but it also gives itself D-Protect and D-Shell. So once that happens, it's pretty much game over for the enemy. Spend very little time in medic stance. And yeah, so in Commando, not Sentinel, we're taking block and 1 damage from this guy when he has his bravery buff up, so it's a weird fight.
Oh, yeah!
If you need to take a break, why don't we do it over there? Here.
Love my sheep milk.
I'm not thirsty.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Well, I already spent the money on it.
Some of the lighting and the bump mapping on this wall just looks really good.
Mommy?
Like, I know it's the
Mommy.
cutscene team,
I can't. Snow,
Especially for when this came out.
what do you plan
Yeah.
to do?
But
I
just
need to
that
know.
wall in particular.
Told
Like,
you.
everything else still looks like
Save
pretty
Sarah,
standard for the game
protect
up to this
Cocoon,
point, but that wall just really
have
caught my
myself
eye
a
for some reason.
Big happy family. Still, it's a long road ahead. Or maybe not so long. Whatever happens, things will work themselves out. Even if you're l'Cie, you gotta keep fighting. Huh.
And what if that gets people around you involved?
What?
What happens when your actions end up ruining someone's life? What if someone dies? What then, Snow?
Having an existential crisis. No, stop.
Nobody ever dies. What are you talking about?
How do you pay for what you've done?
I can't! Right? There is nothing that can make something like that right again. When someone's dead, when someone's gone, words are useless.
So that's it? People die and you just run away?
I know! It's all my fault. I don't know how to fix it. Where do you start? What do you say? All I can do is go forward. Keep fighting and surviving until I find the answers I need.
There are no answers! You're running from what you deserve!
Why don't you tell me what I deserve?
The same fate!
He went Super Saiyan.
Nora Estine. She was my mother. And she died because of you!
You're the one she meant.
You think he's gonna drop the knife?
It fell over there.
When we came out of crystal stasis, we didn't remember our focus or what we'd done. All we could do was wander Cocoon, looking for what we'd lost.
Hey, it's the past again.
Let's give up. Forget our focus. We don't need it.
We don't need it? Look, if we don't figure it out and pull it off, you're gonna be a Sith.
It's just making a kid that young, l'Cie. It's not right.
Yeah, it's unfair. But guess what? We grin and bear it like good l'Cie, or the Fal'Cie starts making more. Like that girl the other day. It doesn't matter what our focus is. We do it, whether we like it or not.
But
say we call it quits. You think these people will let us go? They'll lynch us in the street. Listen, Vanille. We do what we gotta do, and get ourselves off this filthy world as fast as we can.
Fang.
You get out of here first. I'll buy you some time. Now, don't you worry. I'll come and find you, no matter where you go.
Bye-bye.
That's pretty rude.
Wait!
They'll have to make another l'Cie to fix the elevator.
Yeah.
Please, don't leave me.
You're not gonna end up a Sith. You boys coming or not? Your fight's right here! By the time I took care of them all, Vanille was long gone. After that, Brains and his cavalry found me. I never stopped searching for Vanille, but I couldn't
So
find
close.
her or our focus.
Fang kind of implies that, or Fang and Vanille kind of imply that they
So, you're
made
telling
Daj
me
a l'Cie?
Sarah
Is it
will
just
come
because
back
they
to
were
life
doing a
someday
thing that
too?
forced him to be there, or
Yep.
do they have some more direct play in it based on the way it was
We
delivered?
didn't do our job right.
I interpret it as they
why
kind
it
of like
made her
distracted
recede.
him because Saz mentions that
We
he kind of
messed
runs
up.
off.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And it was like to provoke the Falci into making him one.
That it?
You sure better hope so. But whether we're square, that's up to Sarah.
You sound exactly like Snow.
She's like,
Thanks,
oh
I hate
shit. Yeah,
And
exactly.
he didn't hit me.
Wait, he already knows this?
Wow. That's a load off. Glad I apologized.
You apologized so you'd feel better?
Guess so. How about you? Feel any better now that you hit me?
You calling me out?
It didn't change anything.
Huh. Tell that to my jaw.
Yeah, Fang's pretty fun.
Yeah. Which is great.
Hopefully we'll see more next week. Thanks for watching.
Bye.